Hello Earth Signs, it's Caroline at White Wolf Mystic here, going to do your reading for February. Before I get started, I do want to briefly talk about the astrology of February and how that will be impacting everyone, as well as you all individually. If you want to skip through this, I will of course post the timestamps for your sign in the description below if you want to go ahead and skip ahead. So February, we have a Mercury retrograde this month. And so Mercury retrogrades are not anything to be scared of. Mercury retrograde is just a time period where we are more reflecting internally and doing more internal work versus external productive work. Doesn't mean you can't be productive this month, but our thoughts and our actions are more geared towards reflection and connecting with spirit and the divine. Okay, so we have Mercury entering Pisces on February 3rd. So Mercury being the planet of thinking and learning and communication in the sign of Pisces, our thoughts and our communication are more compassionate and empathetic. That's very Pisces in nature. We are more concerned with authentic human connection, and we are more concerned with connecting with our spirituality, however we define that. And then we've got Venus entering Aries on the 7th. So Venus being the planet of love, beauty, the arts, creativity, as well as money in the sign of Aries. Aries is very much a go-getter energy, very impulsive, very action-oriented, risk-taking, very assertive, and concerned with meeting one's individual needs. Okay, so when Venus is in Aries, we're going to be more assertive in our conversations with loved ones, as well as those that we have relationships with professionally. Venus in Aries is about setting healthy boundaries, communicating our needs. The flip side of Venus in Aries can be that we might step on other people's toes in order to get our needs met. So being mindful of that, if you do have to assert yourself or your needs or your boundaries, making sure you are being considerate of other people as you do so. Money may also come from more entrepreneurial or individual projects with Venus being in Aries. We have a full moon in Leo on February 9th. So Leo is about self-expression. So with the full moon's being about surrendering and healing and releasing whatever barriers we have to our self-expression, maybe things we want to release on this full moon. Please forgive the noise. I have some people doing construction in the apartment above me, so I'll try my best to talk over it. We've also got, on the 16th, Mars enters Capricorn. So that'll be great for all you earth signs because Mars in Capricorn is very grounded, very focused on long-term growth, on being productive, but productive from a more calculated, taking small steps and creating a plan of action in order to meet long-term goals. So it is a little bit more of a slower moving Mars, but a more productive long-term goals Mars. Okay, and then on that same day, sorry guys, I'm really going to try and talk over this noise, we have Mercury retrograde in Pisces. So again, Mercury retrograde being in a water sign, we feel a stronger desire to connect with other human beings on a compassionate level. We feel more drawn to service. We feel a stronger desire to be connected with the divine, with our spirituality. And so having more deeply meaningful emotional conversations with the people around us are going to be prevalent, as well as just surrendering the need to check everything off of your to-do list, because Mercury retrograde in Pisces is about surrendering to the present moment and going with the flow. Okay. Sun enters Pisces then 2 days later on the 18th, and we have the beginning of Pisces season. And then on the 23rd, we have our new moon in Pisces, new moon being all about manifesting, planting new seeds. So anywhere where you have Pisces ruling in your chart will be the area of life you may want to set some new intentions or plant new seeds, or any desires or intentions you have to just create deeper connections with people or connect more with your spirituality or your intuition. You can plant those seeds as well on this new moon. So that is the astrology of February. Whew. I'm going to begin now with, who am I starting with? Taurus. Okay, what is the theme for Taurus for February? This one keeps coming up. Overcome any obstacle. Rhino spirit. Breaking through barriers. Okay, let me pull a few tarot cards just to clarify. We've got 8 of Wands, which is a card of traveling. It's a card of forward motion, of building momentum. And then we've got 4 of Pentacles, the Miser. So I'm seeing that we do have some real momentum building for you Tauruses this month in terms of perhaps literal traveling, or at least making progress in your work projects or in your goals. But then we kind of hit this brick wall, right? And this may be a more internal one I'm getting, because I've also got projections here. So this internal wall may be this brick wall may be an internal reflection of perceived boundaries or blockages that you don't feel you can break through. So recognizing that, for one, you can, because Rhino Spirit is here showing up, telling you that you can overcome any obstacle. And so being mindful of the beliefs we have or the stories we tell ourselves about what we can or cannot accomplish, because this is the only thing blocking you from going where you want to go or being able to build this momentum and act upon it. So being aware of our projections, what we project onto others. So I'm going to speak on projections, for a moment here, because this is an important theme to unpack. So whenever someone triggers you, whenever someone irritates you, whenever something isn't going your way and you're feeling frustrated, anytime an unpleasant emotion arises within you, this is a projection, right? Because our external reality is only ever a projection of our internal state. So what we are triggered by in our external environment, even if it seems really valid, it is somehow highlighting something within ourselves that we are perceiving as true. And so it's about challenging those projections or getting to the bottom of them and recognizing perhaps whether they are limiting beliefs. Again, the Miser is someone who is constantly living in fear and is hoarding all of her possessions because she's living in this lack mindset that if I don't hold on to everything or take care of myself, it'll all be swept away. And that's a projection, right? Because as children of the divine, all of our needs are provided for. We have everything we need within us to be happy and to experience peace. And so when we are experiencing this brick wall within us or without, recognizing that it is a projection and getting to the root of where it's coming from so that we can continue to build this momentum and go in the direction we're wanting to go in and break through any obstacle. So you have the key this month, Taurus. You have the key to your own liberation. It's like, here's the brick wall, here's Rhino. Okay, that was a little childish, but a little childlike, but literally, not literally, because that would be scary. There's not literally a rhino bursting through a wall, because we'd all have to run for cover, but it's like an analogy of just breaking through whatever perceived blockages. Recognize that they're just projections, and because they're projections, you can easily break through them simply by identifying them, okay? All right, Moonology card for Taurus. Ooh, luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. So I'm seeing maybe this new moon in Pisces, this is referencing new moon, this new moon in Pisces on the 23rd may be a good opportunity for you to start to lay some groundwork or set some intentions or goals in terms of what you're wanting to overcome and break through, because then those seeds will be planted and then you can experience new growth in the weeks to come. All right, last message for Taurus for February. My energy creates my reality. What I focus on is what I will manifest. Yeah, that's talking about this, right? Whatever your beliefs are, whatever blocks or barriers you're constructing in your mind that are projections of your own beliefs about yourself and what's possible, that is, if that's what you're focusing on, that's what you will manifest. So redirect that energy so that your energy can gain momentum, so I can take you to where you need to go. And recognize that whatever you are focusing on, that is what you will create. So I don't want to say like think positively, because that's super cliche, you know, and sometimes it can be really hard to do that based on current circumstance, but rather think resiliently. Okay, you can overcome any obstacle. You can do anything you set your mind to. That's a pretty card. Okay, you got this, Taurus. You got this. Moving on. Virgo. What is the energy Virgos will be working on in February? Or what theme, rather? Ooh, antelope. Life is speeding up. All right. Probably with that Mars and Capricorn, too. We've also got this Mercury in Pisces. Pisces is the opposite sign of Virgo. So this, hold up. Mercury retrograde is going to be opposing the house of your sun. So a lot of internal reflection and activation in terms of yourself, your vitality, your personality. So let's see. Okay, what? Hold on. Life is speeding up, slowing down. Come on, Spirit. Come on. You're going to have to give me some clarification here, because we're contradicting ourselves, and that's certainly something Spirit can do sometimes. But give me some clarification, please. All right. Life is speeding up. Change. This is Wheel of Fortune. And slowing down. So I'm almost kind of getting that there's going to be like a gear shift, maybe even midway through the month. So if life seems like it's moving really quickly now, you know, things may shift with this Mercury retrograde to where we're slowing down. And it doesn't mean things are no longer working in the external world. It just means that we are reviewing and getting clear on what we're wanting to manifest going forward, so that we can make those necessary adjustments and changes in order to speed things up again. Or the reverse could be true. If things just seem like stuck, like you're just can't seem to move forward, recognize that change is coming and life is speeding up. Okay, so this is going to be a take it as it resonates with you reading. For some of you Virgos out there, take what resonates, whichever pace you are currently at. Recognize that there may be a gear shift. Okay, and then we've got Knight of Cups, Page of Cups. Sorry, guys. Understanding. So recognizing that there is a divine... Sorry, guys, about the construction above me. Trying to speak over it, over the noise. But understanding that there is a divine reason for this shift in energy, and it is serving your highest good. And once you get back into alignment with yourself and using this Mercury retrograde as a means of doing that and reflecting on what you're going to create going forward, life will speed back up again and things will pick up. Okay. Moonology. New moon in Gemini. So communication is key in order to maybe shift gears or to move things out of stagnant mode. If that's where you're at, Virgo, communicating is the key for you. Compassionately, because this is also about compassion. I mean, you Virgos are pretty caring individuals as it is, but sometimes you can get fixated on your goals and your process and what you're creating, that you can sometimes accidentally forget to communicate what you're working on or to communicate openly with those around you. So making sure you're communicating this month is going to be the key to also speeding things up for you and to putting things back into flow state. So communicating empathetically and compassionately, that's very Pisces with this Mercury retrograde in Pisces, which I talked about in the beginning of the video. Communication and empathy are going to be key to bringing you back up to speed where you want to be this month. All right, so sharpening those communication skills You are ruled by Mercury. You know, and for some of you, given that Mercury is also not just communication, but it's also the mind, it may also be monitoring your thoughts and making sure your thoughts are not creating this stagnancy as well. Okay, final message for Virgo for February. When I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. Okay. So there are going to be some changes for you this month. As I mentioned, a shifting of velocity, either speeding up or slowing down, or both within the same month. And so the way you can brace yourselves for that and to weather that shift, just surrender. And this is really the message for the entire collective for Mercury retrograde. Like, this is what we all need to put into practice, except maybe Pisces, because they're going to be very much in their element. But Mercury retrograde really is about surrender. Surrendering to the divine flow, recognizing that we don't have control over everything. And thank goodness, because if we did, we would fuck shit up. We would. Sometimes we wouldn't. Sometimes we would fix things, but sometimes we would fuck shit up because we can't see the whole picture. You know, and Spirit can. Spirit can see the whole picture and where we're headed and why it all matters. So, surrender. Okay. All right, Virgos. Moving on to, last but not least, Capricorn. All right, Capricorn. What is the theme? Hold on. What is the theme we are working with in February? Whale spirit. Trust the great mystery. Cue whale sounds. No, I'm not going to add that sound effect. I don't have that sound effect. I should figure out how to do that, though. That'd be pretty cool. Trust in the great mystery. All right, let me pull a few tarot cards just to clarify. Ooh, all right, we've got consciousness. I love these two side by side. And then we've got innocence. This is the sun. And then we've got the high priestess, inner voice. So very spiritual cards coming through. You know, this makes a lot of sense because you Capricorns are doing a lot of hard work and heavy lifting for the collective right now, given that we've got so much planetary energy in Capricorn. We have the South Node in Capricorn, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, all in Capricorn right now. Mars will be entering Capricorn on the 16th. So this is really a time to sit and ask yourself, what is life asking of you right now? Where are you being asked or called to be of service, to help guide the rest of us? You know, what is your intuition telling you, right? Perhaps are you guided to being more present in the present moment, to connecting with your innocence or with the consciousness that dwells in all things? You know, maybe this is the antidote to a lot of the tension and growing pains you're experiencing right now. All Capricorns are experiencing growing pains because you're being majorly activated. But sometimes tension is good, right? It's useful, it's productive, and that it helps you to grow. But where are you being called to be of service? And trusting in the unfolding of things. You know, you are being called, and trusting in the natural unfolding of events that you are being prepared for service. Such a pretty message coming through for you Capricorns. Doing a lot of important work right now. I appreciate you. Adjustments are required. All right, let me get a clarifying card for that. What adjustments? What adjustments are required? All right, we got the Rebel. This is the Emperor. As I pulled this card, Fleetwood Mac's song, Go Your Own Way, came in my head. So, you know, there may be the temptation, especially with Mars entering Capricorn, to go your own way and do your own thing and to be a rebel and to break through these chains just because. And for some of you, that may be what you're being called to do, is to be a chain breaker and a rebel in some cases. So for some of you, perhaps you are being called to challenge the way things are being done. You know, we have Pluto in Capricorn right now, and so wherever he is aspecting in your chart, whatever planets he be aspecting, Pluto is the planet of transformation. And so some change needs to happen. You know, some chains need to be broken. For some of you, though, I'm seeing you may be dead set on accomplishing certain things, and perhaps you are ignoring your inner voice in order to do them because you set this goal months ago, years ago, and you're like, no, I can't, like I have to stay focused on it, because the Emperor is also very obstinate. And so in some cases, that's good because we need to break through chains. In other cases, we are no longer listening to our inner voice and we're not trusting in the divine plan. So for some of you, I'm also seeing, rather than being so dead set on accomplishing your goals because it's surrendering, making the adjustments required, to instead turning inward, listening to your inner voice and what Spirit is asking you to do. So that's a dual message. Take what resonates for you, Capricorn. If you are feeling called to challenge the status quo and maybe you've been afraid to do it, you know, take this as Spirit's sign that it needs to be done. There needs to be some transformation. And then for some of you, if you are just chasing this goal or this outcome because you committed to it and you're dead set on it, but maybe it's not flowing anymore and you're meeting with tension and obstacles, that could be Spirit's way of saying, you got to surrender and let it go. Because you're possibly being called to be of service elsewhere, or there is a greater plan than what you can see. So take that as it resonates with you, Capricorn, whichever message resonates more with you. Okay, final message for Capricorn. I surrender to a power greater than me. Oh, this is so beautiful. I love this so much. All three of these cards together. If I can get them all in the frame without my fingers blocking. Yeah. I surrender to a power greater than me. You are doing so much important work, Capricorn, for the collective. I'll speak on behalf of the collective. We all appreciate your work, even though we may not all be expressing it or aware of it at this time on a deep soul level. We are aware of the soul contracts we all made when we came into this life, and Capricorn is doing some very important work in terms of shifting our values in terms of how we relate to Capricornian themes, right? Which is government, banking, finance, you know, financial stability and security, how we relate to authority and the structures that we're creating for ourselves that will provide long-term structure and stability and support for the collective. And some of those structures are changing. So some of you are breaking through barriers. And if you are a part of some of the old structures and you're just focusing on accomplishing and things don't seem to be going with the flow, recognizing that there's a divine plan. Trusting the mystery. All right, Capricorn. That is the reading for Earth signs for February. I hope you guys found that helpful. Thanks for watching. Bye.